everybody. I'm Sheldon Baker, and welcome to the 420 area code. Another great show for you today. I've been gone for a while. It's great to be back. COVID is, can play really nasty things with you, and I had a bout with food poisoning and spent some time in India. So it is great to be back, and I have a great guest for you today. We have Sister Kate from Sisters of the Valley. She's going to talk about CBD and their new products and what's going on. And so stick around. Got a great show for you. We're going to take a word from our sponsor and come on back.
Not all hemp oils are created equal. Let Verdant Oasis show you why. Verdant Oasis is a vertically integrated hemp-centric raw material grower, manufacturer, and supplier. We oversee every step from soil to oil. Verdant strains are genotyped and registered by government-regulated seed banks. Our operations are HACCP and GMP certified by SGS International. Verdant Oasis has the most comprehensive global safety dossier for hemp extract, setting the benchmark for FDA acceptance and NDI compliance, the gateway to the food and beverage industry. Our hemp oil ingredients are accepted and authorized by the FDA, USDA, and DEA for interstate commerce throughout the United States. In the UK and EU, our extract is authorized as a novel food. Wholesome and pure, backed by science, legally compliant, and fully integrated with a dedicated innovation center to serve your unique marketing objectives. To learn more about the Verdant difference, visit our website at www.verdantoasis.com. Verdant Oasis, the essence of hemp.
Welcome back. I'm Sheldon Baker, and you're watching the 420 area code. And please welcome our guest, Sister Kate. Sister, welcome.
Hi, Chuck. Thank you for having me.
There you are. How you doing?
Good, real good.
Great to see you again.
Thank
I know
you.
a lot's been happening since you were on the show much earlier this year. Sister Kate and the other sisters run Sisters of the Valley in the Central Valley of California, and they have numerous quality CBD products. And what can I say? You got great products. You sent me some earlier this year, and I love it. Great CBD.
Thank you. Well, we make them with a lot of love. We make them by the cycles of the moon. We actually have a patent pending with the federal government, which I'm surprised they just didn't say hell no. They said, okay, here's your patent pending on something that would have got us burnt at the stake 100 years ago, making them by the cycles of the moon. We basically make our most popular product is our topical salve, but then second would be the oil drops that people take for different pains and anxiety. And we just recently launched a pet line, and during COVID, hardly because during COVID, at one point, 20% of our sales or 25% were international. And during COVID, all our international sales dried up, mainly because I think over the same period of time, as CBD becomes legal in those countries, they follow what Canada did. As soon as Canada legalized it, they stopped letting people ship it in. So as soon as they have their own path for people to make it, they quit allowing other countries to ship, other places to ship it in. So in response to that, and for our enclaves that are budding in other places, we launched our mushroom coffee that has no hemp or CBD, but is meant to be a mood stabilization kind of brew.
How is the state of California treating you? How is it working with CBD products here?
The state is easy because the state sees us as homemade, handmade, and not any way involved in THC. So there is no real regulation for us. So they're easy. There's also nothing we can give people to say, here, our state certified us either. That's the other side to that. They don't hassle us, but we don't have anything from them legitimizing us, and they don't have a path for that right now. And then what we get here in the Central Valley is such an interesting quilt work. But if you step back and see what's happening, it's not that unusual. I mean, it seems unusual to me that where the sisters go, in some towns, people will cross the street to avoid having to look at us or pass us. And in other towns, they roll out the red carpet. And so this has been sort of a question mark over my head for a while. It's like, how come Gustine's chief of police calls and invites us to their 420 celebration, and Livingston, the people treat us like we're a dirty plague if we roll through their town. And what I've come to decide on all of this is that where the sheriff's department's already lost the battle in the towns and cities for allowing cannabis dispensaries on their main street or in their culture, in their main city culture, those places are very friendly to us, so it's not rocket science. Where that battle has been lost and the sheriff's department no longer has the control and no one's believing the lie about cannabis anymore, we are well respected and well accepted. And where the sheriff still has his thumb in the government and ruling the small towns, which pretty much with Merced lately, the transformation of Merced has been natural too, where it went from kind of being sheriffs run and controlled, all his guys on the town, they made the decisions to, there's a university here. They've kind of lost their control. They no longer have their people on the city council. And so where did they go? They doubled down in the small towns. And so that's the political sort of atmosphere we see. It's not really a challenge to us. We pretty much try to stay out of those fights.
Right.
But when they do things like Chuck Hale cost the citizens $500,000 settlement in the last 4 years for lying to a judge and planting evidence in, and the sheriff just made sure he became police chief in a small town nearby us. So when they do stuff like that, then we have to get loud and scream about it, and we have.
Sure. So you've had your present company, I think it's been about 8 years now.
Yes.
When you first started, was it not as easy to do business in your community?
Oh, yes, it's been a transformation, but I think it's a transformation that happens in any farming community. It's like farmers are suspicious of anybody who's new, anybody who thinks differently. But then, after 5 years, seems to be the magic number of taking their contempt. One day you wake up and you find out they're tipping their hat at you and opening doors for you, and that somehow something changed. In other words, you put up with it long enough, you ignore it, you don't get your nose bent out of shape or get angry about it. And then over time, they're like, yeah, we have the weed nuns on our street. They're right down there. And those are the Mennonite farmers bragging about us on their street. But no, it wasn't like that beginning. Of course, I heard there was a whole neighborhood coalition that came out to stop the sale of this farm to us, and we didn't know about it until much later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before we go on, I should, and you should explain it. People are watching and they say, and they hear, and they're watching and they hear, there's a nun or nuns selling CBD products. But you're not a real nun, right?
Well, we're not. Well, we consider ourselves real nuns from the standpoint that by the dictionary definition, we check all the boxes. You live together, you work together, you pray together, and you take vows. That is the definition. And we live together, work together, pray together, and take vows. So we tick all the boxes. But we are not.
So that's how you would describe the sisterhood.
Most people consider a real nun as part of a patriarchal religion. We are not part of a patriarchal religion. So to us, the real is debatable.
But that's how you would describe the sisterhood.
As what?
As what you just said, or is there another explanation for
we're not part of patriarchal religion. We're independent of any religion, and religion is kind of beside the point of what we do. We're an eco-feminist organization that's trying to create a social network for the women that our society has failed in creating. We believe that the organic way to heal a society is to have women own and run things. No offense. But it's just that rarely women leave the men behind, where it's common for the men to leave the women behind. The women have been suffering the brunt of all poverty since Christianity got its wind, and we see a lot of connections between the Christians making abortion a sin about the same time that cannabis was made a sin, at the same time that fracking was made and plastic was made like a sacrament. These things all happened together, and they weren't good.
Okay, all right. Before we take a break, you talked about new products. You've got a new product for pets, yes?
Yes. Yes, we have a new product for pets, and essentially what we did is the new science out of Oregon says that the raw medicine from the plant helps fight infection. So we took sort of a blend of the raw medicine and the cooked medicine special for pets and made sure there's no essential oils or nothing added that they could be allergic to. So it's essentially coconut oil and CBD, CBG, CBGA, CBDA, alphabet soup, based on the new science.
Primarily dogs and cats or other household
All
pets?
Like we use it on hamsters, and we've used it on horses. Neighbors use it on their horses. So it really is just a matter of dosage. It works for all pets, but of course, if you're going to give a horse, you probably have to give them the whole 2-ounce bottle, and if you give it to a hamster, you're going to give them a drop. So you just have to be sensible about dosage.
Sure, yeah. And so what kind of feedback are you getting from people who've been buying the product? Has it been, obviously not the animals, but the animal owners? Have they been saying?
Well, for 8 years, people have been using our oil for pets. They've been using our people oil for our pets with great results. And then when we studied it, we went, oh, you know what? We shouldn't be adding this blood orange flavoring. It's okay for humans, but it's not okay for some pets. We were upping the risk of an allergic reaction by having the essential oil in there. So when we went to take that out, then we also looked at the science of putting the raw medicine in, and sort of came up with a whole new formulation for pets. But our reason for doing it was because of the great success stories. I mean, people, when their pets reverse their pet cancer, they document it and they send it to us. And when their pets have a wound that the doctors have given up on and our oil is making it close up quickly, we hear about it. And we're right in the middle of Mennonite farm country, and neighbors come to us anytime their pets suffer. And so we have a long history of using it personally. But the science isn't really out there for pets right now, and we're the first to say that because we go looking for it.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, we're going to come back and talk about some more of your products for people, and maybe even talk a little bit more about your products for pets, if they're running faster or barking louder or meowing louder or whatever. So stick around. We're going to have another word from our sponsor. Don't go away. Come on back with Sister Kate.
Not all hemp oils are created equal. Let Verdant Oasis show you why. Verdant Oasis is a vertically integrated hemp-centric raw material grower, manufacturer, and supplier. We oversee every step from soil to oil. Verdant strains are genotyped and registered by government-regulated seed banks. Our operations are HACCP and GMP certified by SGS International. Verdant Oasis has the most comprehensive global safety dossier for hemp extract, setting the benchmark for FDA acceptance and NDI compliance, the gateway to the food and beverage industry. Our hemp oil ingredients are accepted and authorized by the FDA, USDA, and DEA for interstate commerce throughout the United States. In the UK and EU, our extract is authorized as a novel food. Wholesome and pure, backed by science, legally compliant, and fully integrated with a dedicated innovation center to serve your unique marketing objectives. To learn more about the Verdant difference, visit our website at www.verdantoasis.com. Verdant Oasis, the essence of hemp.
Welcome back to the 420 Area Code. And my guest today is Sister Kate from Sisters of the Valley. We were talking about CBD products for pets. It's a new product they have. You were saying about there isn't science behind it, but there is lab testing around your other products for humans, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the new science that came out of Oregon was done on mice, and what they found is that if they gave them the raw medicine of the plant with the cooked medicine with the plant, the CBDA means it's acidic, means it's raw. So CBD means it's cooked, CBDA means it's raw, CBD, and then there's CBG and CBGA, and these scientists learned that these rats could fight infection at the point when the infection hits them, like the COVID, if they had this in their system. And so we knew we had successful pain relief in our formula for pets, but we were also going for like a supplement sort of that keeps them from catching stuff.
Yeah, and on your website, you have a list of all the testing that's been done on your products.
Yes. Well, we send all our tests, and we've done this for 8 years now through SC Labs. We tried a couple of times to move our business to women-owned or minority-owned labs, but at the end of the day, those came and went, and SC Labs lived. They're in Santa Cruz, and they keep all our results, and they're all public, so anybody can go on SC Labs and put in Sisters of the Valley and find all our results of all of our products that we've tested since day one. And we do that, and so every batch is tested for potency. We do that because we ship our products across borders. We have to make sure that there's a test from a lab that says it's under 0.3% THC, or we couldn't ship it into Europe and we couldn't ship it across the world. But once a year, we also test across the board for heavy metals and pesticides and things like that.
Fantastic. That's good to know. How about healing? You talk about on the website healing naturally and safely with CBD. How do you find your customers reacting to that and using it in their health regimen?
Well, we didn't have to do anything. The pharmaceutical companies did all the work for us. With all their overreach and all of the abuse and all of the hooking people on drugs and then taking them away and limiting it, by the time we came on the scene 7-8 years ago, the public was ready to embrace the idea of becoming their own herbalists and their own doctors again, like in ancient times. What's happened is our medical system kind of trained us to trust the doctor, and then we had the situation where there's over-trust in doctors and not even so much over-trust in doctors, because gosh, I know a lot of good doctors that are worthy of trust. But the idea that people quit listening to their bodies and deciding for themselves, and the stopping listening to your body, that's all we promote, is listen to your body and do what your body says. Heck, I'm sure there are people that are I know that we have at least one sister that's completely allergic to the cannabis plant, and we have at least one brother who's completely allergic to the cannabis plant. So that means that our products can't work for everybody. And so we're always saying you have to do things just real small, try it, see how it works. If you don't get a desirable reaction, it's not your medicine.
Right. I bet, though, people still say to you, can I get high from CBD? You hear that all the time?
They do. Yes, they do.
How do you respond?
Well, I tell them it's not scientifically possible and that they shouldn't argue with me. They should go talk to the scientists about it because it's not scientifically possible. They've already set that 0.3% at about 1% of what you need to feel any kind of psychotropic, for sure 10%, maybe down to 1% of what you need to feel a psychotropic effect. And then we in the industry try to stay way away from that line. So you know, I think that in this case, the regulation works.
Very good. You know, according to your website, I guess there's a question there, why you make your products according to a moon cycle. Share a little bit about that.
Well, it's kind of the same reason we wear this uniform. We weren't trying to disrespect the Catholic nuns.
Our beliefs, we reached back to the last time in history it was legal, permissible, and okay to put Mother Earth at the center of your spiritual practices. And that we chose the year 800 because that was like before the Bible went rampant and the Christians, the Inquisition, and people started dying for any practice that wasn't a Catholic or Christian practice. And if you look at the beliefs from the Beguines, who were the first organized nurses in the castles of Europe in the year 800, and look at the beliefs of the Native Americans of the land of California, where we have our farm, at the year 800, we took where their beliefs overlap, and their first belief that overlaps is that they organize their lives by the cycles of the moon. That makes sense to us. There was no clock. That was their clock. And it's not no accident that tinctures are set for approximately 2 weeks, approximately the period from the new moon to the full moon. So starting the sisterhood, we got to start from scratch with a core set of beliefs. And even in our vows, we take lifetime vows, but we don't take a vow of obedience to any person or organization, but more towards we take a vow of obedience to organizing our lives by the cycles of the moon. And that's a way of intentionally making sure Mother Earth and nature is kept in all your practices.
Very good. So talk a little bit about your leading products. What are some of your best sellers?
The topical salve has been our best seller since the very beginning. We were aiming for arthritis and joint pain relief, and we got that. But like I said, the people were so willing to experiment that we learned that it's great for diaper rash and eczema, and people have claimed that by putting a dab behind their ear in the morning, they've prevented migraines that have haunted them for all their lives. People tell us that they've replaced sleeping pills by just rubbing the topical salve on their temples when they go to sleep at night. And so there's a wide range of uses for it, and always new stuff that we're always surprised. And so that is definitely our bread and butter product. And then second to that would be the CBD oil drops. Recently we introduced a CBD Plus drop line, which has the raw and the cooked. So if you're not looking, CBD is more for like pain relief, but if you start adding those raw, you're talking about beefing up your immune system basically and being better at fighting infections. So that's more of like I think a daily routine thing, and you reach for the pure CBD when you're in pain. But science will tell and our people will tell. That's the magic and the mystery. And then during COVID, we launched our mushroom coffee line. When an ex-Catholic nun who had been with us for 2 years stole a car and ran away 3 months into the pandemic, I said, ladies, we have to do something else for mood stabilization. The weed isn't doing it. And we started researching mushroom coffees. And then after researching them and testing them all and deciding none of them did it for us because we knew about functional mushrooms, and so we were having to take our mushroom coffee to get like 3 mushrooms, and then we were having to make a smoothie to get our other 3 mushrooms. So we just said, let's make our own. We made one that has all the 6 functional mushrooms plus ashwagandha root, and it's really aimed at helping you with brain clarity and mood stabilization, and also performance, a physical performance.
All sounds good to me. Hey, we're going to take another quick break, and then we come back. We'll have Sister Kate share a little bit more with us about what's going on at Sisters of the Valley. So don't go away, Sister Kate. We're coming right back.
Okay.
Not all hemp oils are created equal. Let Verdant Oasis show you why. Verdant Oasis is a vertically integrated hemp-centric raw material grower, manufacturer, and supplier. We oversee every step from soil to oil. Verdant strains are genotyped and registered by government-regulated seed banks. Our operations are HACCP and GMP certified by SGS International. Verdant Oasis has the most comprehensive global safety dossier for hemp extract, setting the benchmark for FDA acceptance and NDI compliance, the gateway to the food and beverage industry. Our hemp oil ingredients are accepted and authorized by the FDA, USDA, and DEA for interstate commerce throughout the United States. In the UK and EU, Our extract is authorized as a novel food. Wholesome and pure, backed by science, legally compliant, and fully integrated with a dedicated innovation center to serve your unique marketing objectives. To learn more about the Verdent difference, visit our website at www.verdentoasis.com. Verdent Oasis, the essence of hemp.
Welcome back. I'm Sheldon Baker. You've been watching the 420 area code. My guest today has been Sister Kate from Sisters of the Valley. And before we go, just a little bit about Sister Kate. Sistersofthevalley.org is where you need to go to her website and find out about the great products, so the CBD products. You also have a free newsletter, correct?
Yes.
And just got to fill in the name and the email, and they'll be getting that newsletter, correct? Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. And that's the best place to order products, online. Do you sell your products anywhere else?
No, I mean, there's a couple of stores that have started selling our products. There's a smoke shop in Merced, and the Hyatt Regency, I think, has some of our products in their boutique. So that's starting to happen. But no, mainly it's sistersofthevalley.org, like you said.
Online is the best place. Okay. Hey, it's been great having you on the show again. Great to see you. Always great to see you. It's your second time around here, and we'll do it again down the road. I'll be watching.
Thank you. And actually, I'd like to say that you guys are close enough. You should come up and visit our farm.
Absolutely. I know you made that, you provided that invitation last time, and I guarantee you will see me there in the near future, okay?
Okay, that's wonderful. We would love that. Thank you again
Sister
for what
Kate
you do, for the
Sisters
news you
of
bring
the
to the
Valley.
Central Valley, and for having us.
Fantastic. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody, for watching the 420 Area Code.